You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Summer is here and the sun has hit.
Sun and the heat and the humidity. It is, according to the thermostat down here, it is 32 degrees, but with humidity, we have hit 44.
That's nice and warm.
Yeah, it's gross. I'm worshiping the air conditioning today.
I quite like the sun, but I don't know about 44. Well, although in Mexico, I think we hit 44 a couple times where I was.
It's different down in Mexico there. It's not humid. It's still hot, but it's not so humid, so the air isn't so heavy to have a hard time breathing, which is what I don't like about, the East Coast humidity.
Guess what I did this weekend?
Just a second. It's going to come to me. I'm feeling very psychic at the moment. You had a psychic fair.
I did. And it was awesome. It was out at Bill's Bees here in Richmond, Bill's Bees and Blueberries. It was hosted by Kyla Adrian, and it was incredibly awesome. I had a great time there. We had our tables set up. We were teaching people about mushrooms and herbs and gut health and brain health, and it was awesome. Actually, I had a really good time.
That's really amazing.
And we had a free draw for one of John's original prints, and Erin Fournier won it.
Nice.
So I contacted her today, and I'm going to try and get a picture of her with the print there later as I drop it off. It'll be awesome.
That's amazing.
Hey, and if anybody would like one of those prints, we have a limited number that we have for sale. They're $40 each, and the money goes towards helping people that are battling cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, I ordered one last time I'm there, so I'm hoping that he's holding it for me.
Yes.
Yep.
How are you doing? What you been doing?
I have just, kind of been going crazy. I am coming out to BC at some point in time, and I am signing myself up for courses. So when I get home, I will be done my courses, and I have 2, 4, 5 weeks of education coming up in BC, and then I have to come back out for another one in November.
And what are the courses?
I am actually going to be learning. I'm taking a breath work course, so I will be certified to be a facilitator with breath work, conscious breath work. I've had that asked of me. What kind of breath work? Conscious breath work. And then I'm also going to be studying combo while I am out there. I have not worked out all the details on that one, but I will have that by the end of the week. So I'm planning my travels and figuring out how I'm going to get there and where I'm going to stay and all of that jazz. So much fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Summer adventures and keeping busy. And education is always a great thing.
Well, it is. And it's, there are a couple of things that I believe will truly help me along my path. The conscious breath work especially is all about surrendering, which you need to be able to do when you're taking these medicines. And combo just works in with my idea of what I want to offer. Detoxing and healing is very important.
Yes. That detoxing and then proper nutrition all is part of serious healing.
Yeah. So I think combo will work into that really well, and I'm really excited to learn it. And of course, one of the first stages of learning combo is I have to self-serve.
Ah, nice.
So it's the burning of myself, and not necessarily the serving of the combo, but the burning of myself that is what I'm not necessarily looking forward to. But I'll do it.
You burn yourself. It's part of being a phoenix.
So yeah, that's what's going on for me. My daughter had a birthday yesterday, so actually, as of 12 minutes ago, I would have been a new mom 33 years and 1 day ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been celebrating her. And my grandchildren both graded from their classes. So my granddaughter goes on to junior high tomorrow or next year. Like, oh my God.
Yep, my grandson's doing the same thing. I'm going to his grad tomorrow afternoon. Be up there, woo, woo, and then they'll throw me out.
They're only allowing parents at my granddaughter's graduation, and she's excited because she knows that Nana would be the one to get up and go woo woo very loudly, and mommy will just sit there and do this. So yeah, it's all good.
That's okay. She'll hear the woo woos when she's up there anyway.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's mind blowing just sitting there watching them just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. How can they get so old while we still stay young? I don't know.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm still in my 30s. Like, what am I doing with grandchildren?
Oh. Hey, you been watching any news lately?
Dude, I report the news twice a week. Yeah, I have.
Oh. I don't actually watch too much of it, but the last little bit I've kind of been going through a few things. And one of the things I found just happened recently, and it's making quite a mark in the healing community and the plant medicine community. It's getting a lot of titles, and I figured we should probably maybe talk about it. What do you think?
Yeah, we're gonna shake stuff up today and talk about some news that we found interesting.
This one isn't too happy of a story. This first one,
Let's just get into it. We'll do the discussion after. Let's just jump into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, coming to us from People. Tourist who's 41 drank psychedelic tea during a spiritual retreat in Peru, and now his dead body is waiting to be claimed by family, reports.
Wow. That one, yeah. Sorry, I get caught up in some of the stuff here. An American tourist has died after drinking a hallucinogenic herbal tea during a spiritual retreat in Peru, according to reports. On Sunday, June 1st, Aaron Castronova, 41, from Alabama, died after allegedly ingesting an ayahuasca brew at the La Casa de Guillermo, Icona Hotel in Loreto, located in the Peruvian Amazon rainforest. Daily Mail, national outlets Republica, and Infobay reported.
Yeah, it's very sad. Castronova suffered multiple organ failure with the presence of pleural effusion, which is fluid around the lungs, and acute pancreatitis. Infobab reported, citing the regional prosecutor's forensic pathologist, Dr. Narcio Lopez. Lopez suggested that Castronova was on certain medications that, combined with consuming ayahuasca, can trigger serious adverse reactions, per the outlet.
Ayahuasca is a psychedelic brew containing the natural chemical dimethyltryptamine, DMT, found in the Psychotria viridis plant leaves. It's illegal in the U.S. The brew has been used for centuries by indigenous people from Peru, Brazil, Colombia, and Ecuador in religious rituals and for therapeutic purposes, according to the Alcohol and Drug Foundation. Castronova reportedly consumed the drink during a ritual in Santa Maria de Ojeda's indigenous community. Hostel managers claim that he didn't inform the ceremony organizers he was on antibiotics ahead of the ritual, per the Daily Mail.
Yeah, that's scary. Following his death, the authorities were alerted, and Castronova's body was transported by river to the port of Bella Vista, Nanye, and then transferred to the Central Morgue in Iquitos, where it remains pending claim by his family or the U.S. Embassy. And as of now, no family members have come forward to the morgue or contacted the Peruvian authorities regarding his death at this time.
The U.S. Embassy has been called to coordinate the transfer of Castronova's body back to the U.S. The U.S. Embassy states that the U.S. citizens visiting Peru should not ingest or use traditional hallucinogens, often referred to as ayahuasca or cambo. These dangerous substances are often marketed to travelers in Peru as ceremonial or spiritual cleansers.
The embassy warns that ayahuasca can cause several negative health effects, including nausea, vomiting, increased heart rate, and even death, as well as long-term effects of psychosis, difficulty sleeping, neurological diseases, and ongoing hallucinations. Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of an area in the plant medicine, well, in the whole medicine field, the prep work. You have to be honest with the facilitators. You have to use these medicines with reverence, with gratitude, and respect.
Yeah, there's a reason why the facilitators need the education, whether it be from elders or courses, on what to watch out for, and to give proper preparation. And as somebody who goes in to take the medicine, you have to be open to being completely honest with that facilitator. Whether it be your diet, medications you're taking, colds that you might have had, diseases you might have. Like, these are things that your facilitator needs to know. And if you are scared that it's going to cut you out of whatever medicine, you should accept that wholeheartedly and say, well, maybe it's not the right time now, or this isn't the right medicine. There are medicines in there that don't have these contraindications. And as much as people may want to be helped and may want those tools to help themselves heal, death, you have to realize that death is a side effect that can happen if you're not honest.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I'm, my condolences to the family and friends of that young gentleman that passed away.
Mm.
That's, honestly, I just have no words. It's,
there's a lot of lessons that can be had here that, like being honest with your facilitators, research your facilitators and know their education, and make sure that they are trustworthy.
And research your medicine.
Research your medicine. Well, actually, and like, I don't know if that's necessarily as far as somebody needs to go. They should know, they should understand that there are contraindications. But that's where they go to a facilitator that has been trained and is knowledgeable. You can trust that facilitator to know their medicine. So as long as you're honest with them, that's their job. There's a reason why people train hard to serve these medicines. And the shaman in Peru, this isn't a 9-month training. This is their whole lives that they're preparing and getting ready to go out there and serve this medicine. And there's a reason for it. They're taught all of this stuff, and they don't want to serve somebody and, make them worse or give them psychosis or make them ill or kill them. Their job is to help you find the tools that you are looking for to heal. And they can't do that unless you're honest. And it's very, very important to be honest and sit with a reputable facilitator and somebody that has worked to know their medicine.
Yes, and things as some people just think that antibiotics, because they're given out everywhere willy nilly like Smarties for just about everything. People think that they're not as powerful as they are, and they are a powerful medication. They do a lot to the gut. They make changes, and therefore any other medications with them have to be, they have to synchronize. There's got to be synchronicity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. And, I'm with Steve. My condolences and sympathies go out to this gentleman's family and friends. And my prayer and hope is that this brings light to people to be honest with their facilitators and to make sure that they are sitting with somebody who has the right vision and the right plan and the right training.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
On a lighter note.
Yes. We have another story we can share. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Woo-hoo. We're heading over to the University of California, San Francisco. And we're going to talk about how magic mushrooms could help Parkinson's disease patients.
Psilocybin, a natural compound found in certain mushrooms, has shown promise in treating depression and anxiety. UC San Francisco researchers wanted to know if it could be used to help Parkinson's patients who often experience debilitating mood dysfunction in addition to their motor symptoms and don't respond well to antidepressants or other medications.
The results were surprising. Not only did effects or worsening symptoms, which is what the pilot study was designed to test, they also experienced clinical significant improvements in mood, cognition, and motor function that lasted for weeks after the medicine was out of their systems.
It's the first time a psychedelic is being tested on patients with any neurodegenerative disease. We're still in the very early stages of this work, but this first study went well beyond what we expected, said the paper's first author, Ellen Bradley, MD, assistant professor and associate director of UCF's Translational Psychedelic Research Program.
Many people don't realize this, but mood symptoms in Parkinson's are linked to a faster physical decline, she said, and they are actually a stronger predictor of patients' quality of life with Parkinson's than their motor symptoms. Researchers in the TRPR program within the University of California Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences and the Department of Neurology teamed up to lead this project, which was funded by an anonymous donor. The findings appeared online earlier this month in the Neuropsychopharmacology, a Nature publication.
Psilocybin's lasting mood and motor effects. Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative disorder characterized by uncontrolled movements due to abnormal brain activity, affects about 1 million Americans. While medications like levodopa can relieve symptoms, there are no approved therapies to slow the progression or reverse the disease itself.
Common early physical symptoms include tremors and foot dragging, but Bradley said anxiety and depression in patients with no history of psychiatric problems often precede the onset of the motor symptoms by several years. It's unclear why standard medications often don't work well for these patients, but mood changes could be part of the neurodegenerative disease process. To test the safety of psilocybin for these patients, the researchers gave 7 men and 5 women with mild to moderate Parkinson's disease about a 10 milligram dose, followed 2 weeks later by a higher dose of 25 milligrams. And when they're talking about 10 milligrams and 25 milligrams, one of the things that I've learned is they actually talk about psilocin, not the whole dried psilocybin. So about 5 milligram dose of psilocin is the equivalent to a gram of, most psilocybins. The patient completed psychotherapy sessions before and after the psilocybin, 8 sessions in total, and were evaluated for changes in mood, cognition, and motor functions.
While nearly all participants experienced some adverse events while on the psilocybin, such as anxiety, nausea, elevated blood pressure, these were not serious enough to require medical intervention. The participants had meaningful improvements in their mood, cognition, and motor symptoms at both their 1 week and 1 month follow-up appointments. The team evaluated the participants' mood again 3 months after the psilocybin sessions and found it was still significantly improved.
The researchers suggested a variety of explanations for the improvements. The beneficial impact of psilocybin on the patient's mood could have led to better cognitive and motor functions. For example, people feel better, and that in turn helps them socialize and become more active, both key elements of Parkinson's treatment. Another theory is that psilocybin could provide relief from multiple symptoms of the disease by reducing inflammation and promoting neuroplasticity, the growth and reconnection of brain cells involved in mood, cognition, and movement regulation.
An expansion into uncharted territory. The results of this pilot study were promising enough that the researchers are conducting a larger randomized control trial at UCSF, enrolling a larger and more diverse group of patients. The second study incorporates non-invasive brain stimulation, neuroimaging, and other tools to understand how psilocybin impacts inflammation and neuroplasticity.
Interesting. It will include a second site at Yale University with the aim of enrolling 100 participants. This work will be funded by the same anonymous donor that paid for this safety pilot, as well as by the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. The vast majority of brain diseases still lack interventions that change the course of illness, said the study's senior author, Joshua Woolley, who is an MD and a PhD associate professor at UCSF and director of the TRPR program. We can often treat the symptoms, but we don't alter the trajectory or prevent decline. Now, that's beginning to change. These results raise the exciting possibility that psilocybin may help the brain repair itself.
I am happy that the studies are catching up to what the people that have been healing their brains already know. That's honestly, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And, I've got a friend of mine right now. He's battling Parkinson's, and but he's got a few other things going on too. He's got cancer, diabetes, and some heart issues. So I don't know if he can utilize the psilocybin for his Parkinson's, but this is at least it's a light of hope for the up and coming people that have the disposition for it to appear in their lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting, actually. Some of the studies going on, I mean, like we have seen this, but there's a lot of people out there in our world that want to go, yeah, well, how? And they want the scientists behind them. And I'm loving that we have more and more scientists that are leaning towards natural medicine, and wanting to figure out how it helps the human body and how it helps us. It's really exciting. I've seen differences in stroke victims that take psilocybin, even on a microdose level, and how it helps them reform those connections. So arms and legs and fingers and toes and speech that doesn't work has a better chance at being
Reconnected,
so they can relearn how to walk, relearn how to use their leg, relearn how to talk. And it's not like it just makes a new connection and all of a sudden it's back, but it gives them the ability to make that new connection and relearn these things and gain back a lot of themselves that a stroke has taken.
Yes, it's beautiful that the brain actually has the ability to have that neuroplasticity, and if pathways are damaged and it can't utilize that, then there's other areas it lights up and makes happen. As long as you're giving it what it needs for that neuroplasticity to jump and work and make the healing happen.
Yeah,
it's magic, those mushrooms. Oh, sorry, everybody.
No, he's not.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I can honestly say they've done wonders for me.
Oh, no, they've helped me greatly.
Yeah, they've changed my life. I haven't had a panic attack in years. Still get a little bit of anxiety now and then, but only when it's really, really heavy stress amount. and learning, getting other tools to, breathing is a huge one. That breath thing, that's huge. Breathing
Yes.
is the key to bringing everything into harmony. It really is. Yeah, one of the things the medicines all do is put people into a certain breathing pattern where they're naturally breathing properly for their body, and getting in the proper air. When we strangle ourselves of oxygen, the first thing we lose is our consciousness, or our attachment to consciousness. So it's a pretty important thing if you want to have conscious thought, right?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Hey, it's time for us to go on a little break, have our sponsors come up here. Thank you to our sponsors for making this happen so we can have this show. We'll be back right after this short pause for the cause, and maybe that day.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Camelford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Camelford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Speaking of 420 Pace, you guys got anything happening for Cannabis Day, July 1st?
Down here in Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
I'm going to smoke some joints and go to a Canada Day parade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently they're trying to make that happen, where they do the medical protest at the, what is it? The art gallery here again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been watching it happen. CSB is in there, man. They're fighting for the hurting that use it as medicine. They're fighting for the street people.
They sure are.
Yeah, it's good to see.
No, it is. It's I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, people kind of think that, it's legal, but if you use it medically, the price points of legal cannabis and some of the product isn't as strong as you actually need for stuff. And
Yeah. It's
you know,
one of the things that I like to see happen in the medical system. I mean, legal cannabis has come a long way. We've had a lot of legacy turn legal, and which is really cool to see. And we've got some really great craft growers in the legal market because of it now, and I've been enjoying them. But the price points are terrible. It's expensive to get good, clean cannabis. And what I would love to see happen is the taxes taken off as it is in other medicine.
right, because it's tax. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of weird, eh? It was. I got nothing. I got nothing. I find it weird that this cannabis is legal, this cannabis isn't legal. But it's cannabis and cannabis is legal. Yes, but that one isn't. Well, why? Oh, because that's not the government one. Oh.
No, it's not even that. Now it's, because people can grow at home, not government weed. We can have our 4 plants, not technically government weed. I've grown it at home. And that's all legal too. What they don't want, and I'm not agreeing with them, but what it is they don't want you who's grown it at home to sell your cannabis and make money that they can make.
Mm.
So you can grow your cannabis at home as long as you're only smoking it yourself or gifting it to your friends. That's why a lot of people sell plastic bags now. See this really cool Ziploc I have? Do you want that for $75? I bet you do.
Oh, is that on Facebook Marketplace?
Right?
Oh,
And it's, the government's being very, very greedy. They want to make all the money with it. And that's where they're wrong. Like, people with the CSP, like people like me, I should be able to grow my weed. And what I have left over that I don't use because I've my plants grew fucking huge, I should be able to gift that half pound, 5 pounds to the CSP. That's illegal. And that's wrong. Right?
yeah.
I can only gift them an ounce. I can gift them 1 ounce per day.
Wow.
Separately.
And I've seen the work they do. I've seen the people using it. I see there's so many grateful people for the service that they provide. It's actually helping. And they got raided here 2 weeks ago. 2 weekends
Which one?
ago. Surrey. I believe it was Surrey. Actually, I'll have to look. I just saw that they got raided, and it was like, that could have been a story we had in here today too. But speaking of stories,
Al and I covered that one. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But speaking of stories, shall we head to another one?
Yes, this one I found very, very interesting.
Yeah. Coming to us from Live Science. 1 psychedelic psilocybin dose eases depression for years, study reveals.
Denver, psilocybin, the main psychoactive ingredient in magic mushrooms, can alleviate depression for at least 5 years after a single dose, a new study finds. The research, presented June 18th at the Psychedelic Science 2025 conference in Denver, focused on patients with major depressive disorder, which is often called clinical depression. The serious mood disorder causes a persistent feeling of sadness and a loss of interest or pleasure in activities that were once enjoyable. The most common treatments for MDD include talk therapy and medications such as selective serotonin reuptake, and both can take a long time to show any benefits.
Yeah. When early studies hinted at psilocybin's potential as an antidepressant, a team of researchers undertook the first ever randomized clinical trial to explore the use of psychedelic for treating severe depression. The trial included 24 patients, half of whom received psilocybin at the very start of the trial, and half of whom received the same dose 8 weeks later. The waitlist group is what they called them. Each patient also received 11 hours of psychotherapy. Even in that short time frame, there was a significant reduction in depression in the immediate treatment group compared to those on the wait list. Study author Alan Davis, director of the Center for Psychedelic Drug Research and Education at the Ohio State University, told Live Science.
Once all the patients had completed the 4-week study, the psilocybin appeared to be 4 times more effective than traditional antidepressant medications based on previous research data. 1 month after the treatment, 17 patients had relieved symptoms, including 14 who were in full remission from depression. Patients also responded much faster to psilocybin than is typical for conventional antidepressants. But do these benefits of psilocybin last?
Very few long-term studies of psilocybin for depression have been conducted to date, said Dr. Charles Raison, who is a professor of human ecology and psychiatry at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and he was not involved in the research. There are very difficult to do because people just drop out, Raison told Live Science in an email, but also because they go on all sorts of other treatments that, obfuscate the degree to which any longer lasting benefits result from the psychedelic, or because the participant got therapy or restarted an antidepressant.
To investigate whether the benefits of psilocybin lasted and if the patients had experienced any side effects, the researchers contacted the original trial participants several years later to request their enrollment in a follow-up study. 21 patients enrolled, and their clinicians rated any changes in the participants' level of depression from before the original treatment to the present day. The patients also filled out a series of self-reported online questionnaires and met up with clinicians to document their ability to engage in everyday tasks, their levels of anxiety, and their general mental health. The researchers assumed that the 3 patients that didn't sign up for the follow-up and the 3 that didn't complete the questionnaires had not remained in remission.
Yeah, even so, the researchers found that 67% of the participants who had suffered from depression half a decade earlier remained in remission after a single psychedelic therapy session. These patients also reported less anxiety and less difficulty functioning on a daily basis. In general, the 2/3 of the patients who responded well reported lasting positive changes in their mindsets, emotional health, and relationships. I'm excited by these deeper aspects of their lives that really speaks to the importance of these interventions beyond just reduction of depression, Davis said.
Most of the patients shared that following the original treatment, they engaged in self-reflection and therapy to help understand themselves and navigate life's challenges. Davis hypothesizes that psychedelic experience catalyzes a deeper therapy process and would like to conduct future studies comparing the relative influences of psilocybin and psychotherapy in alleviating depression. The biggest caveat of this study is the small sample size and the fact that the original trial showed larger antidepressant effects and subsequent larger multi-site studies seem to be showing, Raison said. In a multi-site clinical trial with 233 participants, 37% of the 79 who received a single 25 milligram dose of psilocybin coupled with psychotherapy went into remission from major depression.
While these trials report less widespread antidepressant effects, they support the idea that psilocybin can effectively treat depression, Davis said, and he is keen to see how the findings of multi-site trials hold up 5 years post-treatment.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
And I have to say that for me, it worked. That's part of what worked to bring me. I was clinically depressed, and mushrooms is, one of the major factors in fixing that for me. Both, because I've done both the larger dose journeys and microdose journeys. Now in here they talk about people that just wait till the plane flies over.
Well, we can hear you.
Okay. In here they talk about people that just do one dose and are finding success. And in the bigger group, it was a smaller percentage of success. And just in my experience and understanding, I can see that. Because in bigger doses, you get people that have had multiple traumas, bigger traumas, lot more damaged areas to heal, etc. And for me, it took more than it's taken more than one. It's taken more than one dose. It's taken more than one medicine to do the repairs that I've needed to make.
Yeah, we really should stick in there too that it's not just the medicine that we do to heal. There's a lot of inner shadow work that goes with doing the medicine. We call it integration or preparation, but that's just as important. The medicine will help us, will give us tools and help with the neuroplasticity, but then we have to put the work in to make it really stick and make those tools work in our lives on a daily basis.
To modify the patterns we built around the broken areas in the brain.
Yeah.
Because we'd have built patterns based on those dysfunctional areas or damaged areas. Yeah. So as we heal the brain, we have to do the work to change our patterns but I have to say it really quickly does compress the amygdala, so the depression generation relaxes real fast. It really does. That's why it's one of my medicines. And the next story I find interesting. It's to me, it kind of blew my mind when I read it. One, who is the guy that decided to do the flipping of the molecules? And it's just, for me, it's a weird way a brain would work on something that's been used for years.
Okay, well, let's get into it and see what Steve is talking about, because you are just as confused as I am. I didn't read it yet. So let's go read the article and see what Steve is talking about. I'm excited just by listening to him.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Coming from SciTech Daily, scientists flip 2 atoms in LSD and unlock a game-changing mental health treatment.
By flipping just 2 atoms in LSD structure, researchers made a version that promotes neuroplasticity and enhances cognition, especially in conditions like schizophrenia, where traditional psychedelics are too risky. In animal models, JRT boosted brain connections, improved symptoms, and outperformed ketamine in antidepressant potency, all while avoiding typical psychedelic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
A new take on LSD's potential.
Yeah. Researchers at the University of California, Davis, have developed a new medicine closely relating to LSD that promotes brain plasticity while significantly reducing hallucinogenic effects typically associated with psychedelics. Published on April 14th in the Proceedings of Natural Academy of Sciences, these study shows the medicine's potential to treat conditions like schizophrenia, where traditional psychedelics are avoided due to safety concerns. It may also offer therapeutic benefits for other neuropsychiatric and neurodegenerative disorders marked by synaptic loss and brain atrophy.
Mind-blowing. Precision tweaks, big impact. The new compound, named JRT, was created by altering the position of just 2 atoms in LSD's molecular structure. This subtle change preserved the drug's ability to stimulate brain cell growth and repair damaged neural connections, key features in treating cognitive decline, while minimizing its psychedelic effects.
Interesting. Basically, what we did here is a tire rotation, said corresponding author David E. Olson, who is the director of the Institute of Psychedelics and Neurotherapeutics and a professor of chemistry and biochemistry and molecular medicine at UC Davis. He's just a really smart guy. By just transposing 2 atoms in LSD, we significantly improved JRT's selectivity profile and reduced its hallucinogenic potential.
Yeah, just from reading that right there, it's like, oh, that's the guy that had that brain that went, hey.
Yeah, hey. So JRT shows promise in preclinical tests.
JRT exhibited powerful neuroplastic effects and improved measures in mice relevant to the negative and cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia without exacerbating behaviors and gene expressions associated with psychosis. No one really wants to give a hallucinogenic molecule like LSD to a patient with schizophrenia, said Olson, who is also co-founder and chief innovative officer of Delix Therapeutics, a company that aims to bring neuroplastogens to the market. The development of JRT emphasizes that we can use psychedelics like LSD as starting points to make better medicines. We may be able to create medications that can be used in patient populations where psychedelic use is precluded.
Inside the lab, synthesizing JRT, Olson said that it took his team nearly 5 years to complete the 12-step synthesis process to produce JRT. The molecule was named after Jeremy R. Tuck, who is a former graduate student in Olson's laboratory, who was the first to synthesize it and is a co-first author of the study, along with Lee E. Dunlap, who is another former graduate student in Olson's laboratory.
Following JRT's successful synthesis, the researchers conducted a battery of cellular and mouse assays that demonstrated the drug's neuroplastic effects and improved safety profile relative to LSD. The key findings included JRT and LSD have the exact same molecular weight and overall shape, but distinct pharmacological properties. JRT is what's that?
Keep going.
JRT is a very potent and highly selective for binding to serotonin receptors, specifically 5-HT2A receptors, the activation of which are key to promoting cortical neuron growth.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take them because those are hard words.
JRT promoted neuroplasticity, or growth between cellular connections in the brain, leading to a 46% increase in dendritic spine density and an 18% increase in synapse density in the prefrontal cortex. The medicine did not produce hallucinogenic-like behaviors that are typically seen when mice are dosed with LSD. The medicine did not produce gene expression associated with schizophrenia, and such gene expression is typically amplified with LSD use. JRT produced robust antidepressant effects, with it being around 100-fold more potent than ketamine, the state-of-the-art fast-acting antidepressant. JRT promoted cognitive flexibility, successfully addressing deficits in reversal learning that are associated with schizophrenia. And JRT has extremely high therapeutic potential. Right now, we are testing it in other disease models, improving its synthesis and creating new analogs of JRT that might be even better, Olson said.
Wow. 100-fold more potent than ketamine. Wow. The effects. That's mind-boggling. Targeting schizophrenia's core symptoms. Olson emphasized JRT's potential for treating the negative and cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia, as most current treatments produce limited effects on anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure, and cognitive function. Clozapine is the one exception, but it has side effects, and it's not first-line drug of choice for people severely affected with schizophrenia.
Olson and his team are currently testing JRT's potential against other neurodegenerative and neuropsychiatric diseases. And then it's just a little bit about the publication and the authors.
Wow. I love where the science is going. I love, that I love that people are delving deeper. How long has LSD been around? Right? It's been around a lot of years. It's interesting that, somebody, what a brain. Hey, what happens if we just kind of move these two analogs and reverse this? And that kind of thinking just blows my mind.
We've watched this coming for a while. Al and I have reported on a few of the stories as this has come along. It's been really interesting to see. In April, of course, and we're not that far off from April, everybody's talking about LSD and National Bicycle Day. It's April 19th is a big day for LSD, the creation of it, the first on-purpose trial of it. There's been a lot of information about LSD out there lately. They got the idea from ergot, which is a fungus on corn. They've also found it now on magnolias, the same fungus. Natural LSD and then to take it and synthesize it. They've done the same thing with 5-MeO because there's a natural form of that, and they've synthesized it. And then to take it and look at it and go, this can help a crap ton of people if we can just get them to stop seeing stuff while they're on it. And to figure out how to do that is, like you say, it's mind blowing. It takes a very, a very smart person, for lack of better words. Like, I mean, I'm not sounding anywhere near as smart as the person who did it. To figure that out, like, how do we take the hallucinogenic effect out of it while not changing the medicine?
Yes.
And that's what they did.
Yeah, that's absolutely mind-boggling to me. Wow.
Yeah,
Science, perfecting healing. Yes, that's what we need.
Well, the right
medication.
science perfecting healing, because we have bad science happening too. That really got us into a lot of this mess.
Yes.
The wrong people doing it really is what it was, right? And with the right people in there doing it to help people heal, I think we've got the potential to take it a long way.
I think we do. Give me a sec. I'm just putting Cheek on the chain. She wants to run outside for a minute.
Sure.
Okay, get out there. There we go. What's funny is you put her on the chain and she's just like, yeah, now I don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
What you got coming up for this week?
Oh my goodness. Today is Tuesday, the 24th. When we're done this, I'm probably going to, smoke a joint with my friend. And then I am going off to a psychedelic meeting. Tomorrow I am going to I think I'm putting everything, solidifying everything for my trip out to BC, and doing everything I need to do, making phone calls, finding out if I need to book ferries and stuff like that, and getting everything booked on the dates that it needs to be booked. So I'm gonna do that kind of stuff tomorrow. And then I got more podcasts on Thursday. How about yourself?
I've got some running to do after this. I've got to get a hold of the lady that won that print and deliver that off. I've got a couple other deliveries I have to do, working the show. I wasn't able to get to a few people that are wanting some help and needing some product. And so I'll be running and doing that. Tomorrow's the graduation for my grandson, so I've got that focused. Thursday, I've got a chiro and a physio session. I'm almost at the end. Yes! Healing is awesome. And from there, I don't look any further than that. So
no, that's fair enough. Yeah. Tomorrow, I don't get to go to my granddaughter's graduation tomorrow. Like I said, it's a parents only thing. That's by the school, which is fine. But we are doing dinner afterwards. So I get to take her for dinner to one of her favorite restaurants and celebrate with her. And, she wanted a pair of Crocs for graduating, purple Crocs. So that's what I got her, was purple Crocs. Because that's the big deal these days.
Do they have the turbo?
Yeah, they're those, but they're light purple for girls, right? For little girls. So yeah, that's what she wanted. She wanted Crocs, and then so we're gonna go celebrate her graduation and her move to junior high over dinner tomorrow night, since I can't go to the graduation itself.
Nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be at the graduation. It's kind of a bummer that they make it that small, but I can see it.
Well, there's quite a few students in the graduating class, actually, and so if both parents show up for their graduation, and some kids have 4 parents, because parents break up and then remarry. So I went to a play, and I know the gym where my granddaughter goes to school, and it's not a big, huge, massive gym, so they're going to have heat issues with just the parents being in there. Yeah.
Wow. No, it's pretty exciting. Oh, and then John and Carrie and I have started up a company, Thrive Bio-Optimizers, which all of the health and nutritional supplements will be going under that particular company now. I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to have things like raw organic lion's mane available, chaga, turkey tail, a bunch of the blends, bunch of the mixes. Yeah, it's pretty exciting, actually.
It's very exciting. I got somebody that I love very much. I mean, very dearly. onto your 7 mushroom blend with cacao. This person had high blood pressure. And 2 months into taking it, they started having dizzy spells. They were still taking their blood pressure medicine. And it turned out that the cacao and the mushrooms combined did what they're supposed to do and helped to heal things. And they started getting dizzy spells, finally realizing that the blood pressure meds were making their blood pressure go like massively low. They now don't take blood pressure meds anymore, and their doctor is aware of what they're doing and isn't against it.
That's pretty awesome. Healing is awesome, and healing can happen. First, you got to believe you can heal. And then 2, you got to give the body what it needs. And man, you know, most of the healing stuff needs to go right into the gut. We need to quit putting the stuff in that destroys it and doesn't heal it, and put more of the healing stuff in. And I got to say, mushrooms, what a magical world. And not just the magic mushrooms. It's a magical world.
Even over the counter mushrooms, that's what I call them, non-psychedelic ones. Like, they're incredible.
Lion's mane, you know, if people are worried about what's going on with their brain, start eating lion's mane. Go buy, you know, wild or organic lion's mane. Start eating lots of it. It helps rebuild the brain. It helps rebuild nerve endings. It helps rebuilding the telomeres on nerve endings. And it's an edible mushroom. You can cook it on your barbecue, throw it into a burger sting. It's just, you know, eat the healing products. They're amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Lion's mane's one of my faves. As I'm a guy with also multiple concussions. So, and, you know, I have no problem in my 7 mushroom with cacao throwing an extra spoon of lion's mane and an extra spoon of cacao. Because, man, it just lights up. It gets your brain going. It just makes life better.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, my friend.
Holy crap, are we there?
We're there.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. That's it for our show today. Come on board for next Tuesday. We're going to have Justin in that we were going to have last Tuesday, but due to tech difficulties, we couldn't make that happen. But he'll be there for next Tuesday. So come on in and say much love.
Mm-hmm. Bye, everybody.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.